Welcome back to episode, this is 3?
Episode Trace.
Episode Tres of Sad Money. Your co-host Alexander Payne, and to my left is
Steven Sihelnik.
And today we're going to be talking about how the whole entire world figured out all its money problems and got better.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah, that would be nice, actually. I figured we started on a cheery note because people say it's depressing. So I figured let's just try and...
I like that.
Yeah, let's be happy.
I like that.
And now that we got the happy part out the way, which was a lie, we'll get to some more deeper issues. But I'm trying to think, what happened this week? I met Gary Vee, so I'm going to be okay.
That's right.
I just want you guys to know that.
Tell us about that. What was that experience like?
He was selling NFTs, and it was at some sort of thing. He has some NFT toys at Toys R Us, who I thought was out of business. Jeffrey's back. I thought Toys R Us was gone.
The giraffe is back in business.
Yeah, Jeffrey's out there, man. I'm telling you. He's not selling bisexual ass anymore. He's back on the streets, in the stores, out the streets, in the stores where he belongs, selling toys and not his giraffe butthole. But Gary Vee was actually very motivational. What you see on Instagram is what I saw when I met him, and a nice guy, polite guy. I do think he could start a cult. I definitely, the way people were tearing up when they met him, one girl was like, I didn't have a father and you're my father. And I was like, this is so interesting. I was like, this is crazy. I've never seen people react to a human being like the way I've seen them react to Gary Vee.
Wow.
But it was beautiful because they were all like, you changed my life, you motivated me. It was only positive stuff. And it was every kind of person. That was the thing that I was more interested in was white people, it was black people, it was, I'm pretty sure some of them were insane. And then there were sane people. It was like every single person.
Young people, old people.
Young people, like I think the youngest she had to be like 19, 20. And then the oldest had to be, I don't know, he might have been in his 60s or something like that. But
yeah.
I remember, some people were feeling a little down about themselves. One guy was like, I'm 29 and I'm not where I want to be. And then Gary Vee was like, you see this guy over there? There was this old guy wearing a shirt that said V and Gary Vee and Friends. And he was like, I used to work at that guy's liquor store when I was 34 years old. And he's like, look at me now. So he's like, you have a lot more time than you think you do, which is very important.
Yeah.
Is that whatever we say here, you have a lot more time than you think you do. The U.S. economy, we don't know how much time that has, or the world economy, but it will reset eventually.
Yeah.
And you still have time beyond that. So let's get into it. What happened with you this week? Or do you want to talk about what you saw?
No, that's good. I was going to say, just still on that, it's like I like that he's been talking a lot about it's online, he's been like saying, be prepared, and he's like, just, save money right now. He's like, be he's basically saying like, be responsible. And I do like that he's at least saying that.
I do too, because I'm going to be honest, I'm not being responsible at all. Your boy just bought a $16 burrito. So is that I'm addicted to spending. I'm with you guys out here. I mean, I found me a second job, but that's so I could buy more $16 burritos, not to buy less.
We're a burrito-based economy.
Yeah, I'm working harder to get the same amount of what I used to get before. Not to get more, to get the same.
I feel like that's what a lot of people feel.
Yep.
Working harder to
get
tread
the
water.
Same.
Yeah.
To just, like that little lizard that runs on water.
Yeah.
That's everyone in America right now.
It reminds me of, David Goggins.
Yeah, the military dude.
Yeah, he'd tread water for like 8 hours. He'd be like, fucking, I would just tread water. You just gotta stay hard, motherfucker. Just keep treading water.
Do that.
That's what it feels like. We gotta stay hard. But some crazy stuff happened. Maybe if we take it across the pond first.
To the UK.
Yeah. Oh my. Wow.
They salute like this. Oh wait, that's America. What's the UK one?
I have no idea. But the hand on the forehead, that sounds right to me. I don't know.
This is definitely the UK.
Okay.
Let's just do a Beatles song. You never give me your money. You only give me your inspiration. And in the middle of investigation, I break down. That's from Abbey Road, the one where they're walking across.
Yeah.
Paul McCartney wrote that one.
Wow.
Yeah, but go ahead.
Yoko Ono will be proud of that.
I'm sure she would be, because her country's not doing too great right now either, are you? So
oh my God.
Talk about
so yeah,
England.
after 40, so the former prime minister
Liz
Truss, she was in office for 45 days, and then she announced her resignation within 45 days.
And she's entitled to a pension of £113,000 for the rest of her life. And I want to say one thing real quick. Shout out to Liz Truss, because that's the best fucking job that anyone's ever done for 45 days. You got in, you got out, you made your money, girl. I'm proud of you. I'm trying to be on that same level where I only work 45 days of my life and get paid for forever. So I'm proud of you.
Bro, we're working harder on this podcast than she did while she was in office. This is fucking crazy.
Liz Truss, also, if
Wow.
you know her, a.k.a. Let's Truss another bitch with this job. Her plan was called Trussonomics.
Trussonomics, wow.
Never trust someone without a T. Because she was, her and what was it, Kwame Brown, remember?
Yeah, oh my God. Well, I figured out what England's new fiscal policy is.
What's their policy?
They are turning 10 Downing Street into an Airbnb.
Oh.
And they're bringing a new PM in every 30 days. And it goes to the highest bidder.
Oh, that's how they're picking the prime minister. I thought
That's right.
The way they're going to pick the prime minister is they're going to leave a golden scone out in front of somebody's door. And whoever picks it up, you're the new prime minister. That's how you're chosen now.
Oh, everyone's going to be throwing that scone back.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want this shit.
And Boris Johnson, they're like, where's Boris? Give it to Boris. Because I think he's the only one that wants the job, right?
BJ's back at it.
Yep.
Yeah, BJ put his hand back up. I mean, well, I was going to say got to hand it to him for his love for his country, but, I mean, it is power, so, you know, I wouldn't say he loves his country. Maybe he does. Who knows?
So what exactly went down with...
Yeah.
Let's see if we can explain this to the people out there.
Yep.
Their gilts, which are bonds.
Bonds, yeah.
Which is what we have. I mean, we're just going to probably use that term interchangeably.
Yeah.
Kind of blew up.
Yeah.
Can you explain to the people what a bond is?
Yeah, a bond is it's a financial... Okay. Let's put it this way. A bond is the same thing as like a mortgage on your house, right? You go to a bank to get a mortgage for your house because you let's say your house costs $500,000.
Yeah.
But you're like, I only got $100,000 to pay for this. Bank is like, don't worry, right? If you give us $100,000, right, and we'll put up the other $400,000 so you can close on this house, right?
Yeah.
And then you have to pay, you know, interest to us every year. You know, whether it's 3% like it was, you know, last year, or now it's closer to 7%.
So essentially, a bond is what the government gives out to say you can now own a piece of our debt.
Yep.
But we will pay you back 4% or 5%. Or honestly, the higher the interest gets on the bond, the more likely it is you will not get your money back.
It's riskier. Yeah.
That's the risk. In other words, you're like, well, what is a bond? Why have I never heard of them? Because that's what boomers buy.
Yeah. It's
we don't fuck with bonds around here.
Yeah.
That's what they told your grandma and grandpa and your mom and your dad to buy, but not us. Because we all about that Bitcoin out here.
That's right. Which...
Litecoin, Shiba.
You know what? You can stake those for a yield also, for like income as well. It was all fake and it all crashed, but theoretically you could have.
Well, guess what Bitcoins or these other coins about to have in common with bonds?
What's that?
Or gilts. They're all crashing. Crash test dummies up in here.
They already have, kind of. They got more to go, though.
Yeah, so the UK, they have their gilts.
Yep.
And I forget,
pension funds hold the majority of gilts.
Yes. Yeah. So if you're like, I'm going to retire and I am a teacher and I put all my money into this, or I'm a whatever and I put it all into a whatever, a pension, cops, whatever. So when you do that, essentially they take your pension or whatever and they give it to hedge funds, and hedge funds use it to invest, or they use it as collateral for them, like whatever, like if they want to buy, I don't know, let's say 20 billion shares of Apple or something like that. And they go, well, I got this pension fund over here that has been loaned out to me. But I think what Truss did was they came up with this plan, which she ran on, which was like
Taxes.
it was like taxes, but it was going to be like no tax cut. Like they weren't going to tax the rich, they weren't going to tax anyone. What happened exactly? I'm going to look this up because I remember I wrote this down.
So she had a tax plan that basically was reducing taxes for corporations, like ultra wealthy people.
Yeah.
What essentially happened was the bond market called her bluff and then called her out and was like, look, if we don't have enough revenues coming in, the revenues for most governments is their taxes, then we're not going to be able to match the obligations we have to pay out to retirees.
Yeah.
So these bonds might default.
Yep.
So the bond market was having some crazy moves overnight. And for like a gilt market for like 30-year long dated bonds, they should not trade in like, they shouldn't trade like shit coins. And they were trading like shit coins. That's the best way to put it.
Yeah.
Is like they were moving in increments that you saw GameStop do.
Yeah.
And a government's,
shout out to GameStop.
Yeah, shout out to GameStop.
Yeah.
No hate, but we're just saying when you say the UK, which is the 5th most developed country in the world, and you're saying you can own their bonds, there should be some sort of guarantee behind that.
Yeah.
And basically, that came under a lot of pressure, and there was some like overnight funding that needed to happen, and they came very close to defaulting. Like 48, 72 hours. It was not good.
So
that
would be 90% of them. So what is happening is the UK, the world, whatever you want to call it, we're in a state of Netflix and chill. So we're just essentially like bonds, gilts, whatever you want to call them. People are borrowing against them, and then they're taking the new money that they're getting from them, and then they're buying more bonds, gilts, whatever, and then they're buying more bonds and gilts with the new money, but then at the same time they get new cash, and they just repeat the system over and over and over and over and over again, to the point where these things are eventually, I don't want to say they're going to crash, but I don't know how long. Like, imagine if you could pay off your credit cards by inventing new money.
Who wouldn't do that?
Who wouldn't do that? But every time you do that, the money that you print becomes less valuable. So now you have to print more money just to pay off that same old debt. So maybe you used to do $1 for $1.
Yeah.
Now you got to do $2 for $1. And the next dollar you got to do 3 for 1, 4 for 1. And that just continues and continues and continues until we look like Argentina or Venezuela.
Zimbabwe.
Turkey. Shout out to my Zimbabwe people if you're listening to this.
The one other key aspect to this whole scenario where this wouldn't have happened, this whole thing could have been avoided if pension funds did one thing. They basically, this was back when rates were very low and everyone was in search of higher yields for more income to come into their pockets.
Yeah.
They basically took about 20% of their money, their assets, and instead of putting it into gilts, they took it and they put it into derivatives.
Yeah.
To basically free up that money and go, okay, with these derivatives, we're getting the same amount of income that we would have had if they were just invested into the gilt market. But now we have, another 20% to put into more fancy things like hedge funds, things that are just sexier, right? So when interest rates went up,
we don't boomer invest around here.
No, not at all. Apparently,
boomer remover, baby. That's what COVID was. We don't believe in good old factor ways to invest.
Yeah,
3% a year. Fuck that.
Fuck that. Right.
I'm trying to do 3% a day.
That's right.
Yeah, 3% an hour.
That's right.
I want it now. Sorry, continue.
No. It's that's what it was though. It was that mindset where it's like, you know what? Times are good. Let's find ways to make more money. And pension funds should not have been in derivatives at all. a good amount of the assets on their balance sheet were. And again, this is the most important thing, is that this whole scenario could have been avoided if the people who managed that, they were set up for a scenario where interest rates, I don't know, maybe could have went up again a little bit. And no one gave a shit. And the rates went back up.
Yep.
And then this situation happened. So I
Yeah.
think the while it's a pessimistic scenario, it's because some people messed up. It's not like it would have happened in any situation. It's because people fucked up and they put money into derivatives. Basically what happened in 2007 and 2008 again.
But
No one learned.
yeah,
Or UK didn't, at least.
I think, and what I would say is that beyond Liz Truss and
Yeah.
beyond Kwame Ture Brown or whatever, I would think to say that there's a whole financial oversight committee that is in the UK that missed this. So they have to submit their plans to someone, and they also missed it too. I mean, those are just the two figureheads that missed it. And they caused the sterling to crash, and then the interest rates go up, and then this impacted the rates for the UK government, and that they paid for the money. And the technical term for this situation is called holy fuck. And the Bank of England,
Yeah.
they had to loan, or I don't know what you call it, donated or created.
Yeah.
It's like $65 billion.
They printed more money.
Yeah, printing more money. So $65 billion spending spree. Now imagine that size of that credit card and how much money you have to print after that. And the problem with this is the injection of billions of dollars is that the more you do that, like we talked about earlier, you get inflation, but at the same time, there's no real growth.
Right.
That's stagnation, and you get what we call stagflation. And if you're wondering what that is, it's kind of like having, I think, a droopy boner.
Ooh.
It's not all the way full, but it's not dead yet.
Right. Can't count it out.
You can't count it out, but it ain't really doing much. So that's essentially what's going on with the UK right now, where they're, and I think that was 2 Fridays ago, they were like, we're not going to print anymore to help them out the situation, but they still did anyway. 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, it was 2 weeks.
It was 2 weeks ago then. So it was like, when the guy came on TV, he was like, Friday's the deadline, that's it. We're not giving you any more money, okay? We've done all we could. This is the Bank of England, by the way, talking.
Trying to act tough.
Yeah, to the Prime Minister, or who was the Prime Minister back then. But they're going to keep printing money as long as they can, because this is what they have to do. Otherwise, that's when the riots start, and Harry Potter will come out and shove his wand up somebody's ass.
Yeah. I think they'll fix this, but it's like they need more time.
Well, do they have more time? Because that was going to bring me to my next point, which is American bonds aren't doing so well either.
No, they aren't. Yeah.
So we were talking about this the other day, where what's his T-bills, but so obviously you guys already know energy's going up, food is going up,
Right.
rent is going up, mortgages are going up for everyone around the world, right? And like we were just talking about, bonds are honestly, bonds are like faith. Like, they were the closest thing to being like, this is going to be fine if you just believe. But now faith is gone, essentially. And bonds, I think it was like, they're paying out like 4%. But inflation is at 8%. Not really. It's at like 15. But it's like at 8% on paper. So now bonds are losing money.
The real rate of return, basically.
Yeah. So there's no point in owning them, which means faith in essentially the government being able to pay back its debt.
Yeah.
That means people out there who don't believe the United States government can pay them back. The government's like, hey man, let me hold $20. It's like, nigga, I don't think you got it.
Yeah.
Think about that for a second. The United States government. This is why they're like giving away, I think, student loans. Like, well, they're like, hey, let's just give them their money and everything. Because
We'll get into that in a minute.
They're like, we ain't got it anyway. Might as well give them what they want.
Yeah.
And so here's the great thing that's about this, because I know everyone's like, what does this mean? If bonds are a bad investment, right? Which is basically saying all collateralized investments are bad then. You know what I mean? Which is basically saying the entire financial system. Like the best way I think out is to print more money. We should just print more money. I think that's the best way out. We should print more money.
We've thought a lot about it.
I thought a lot about it. It took me about half a second. We must print more money. So I think a good way to describe this, right?
Yeah.
If the stock market is like a bomb, then the bond market is like a tactical nuke.
Yeah.
And we're on a Call of Duty kill streak right now. And we're about 1 kill away, maybe 3 or 4, from getting that tactical nuke and blowing this motherfucker all the way wide open.
It's a way bigger market than the equity market. That's one, is it's way, way larger, even though most people...
3 times larger?
It's something like that.
Yeah.
It's crazy from like a magnitude. And then like that's like the government debt.
Yeah.
But then there's corporate debt. And you look at those markets and it's like absolute chaos. Like a lot of private lending, corporate lending is, you can't go out there as a corporation and you can't refinance, or you can't get a new loan right now. They basically have seized up. Or let's say you get a loan, you're a bank, you don't want to keep that on your balance sheet.
No.
So you go out and what do? You want to syndicate it. Basic syndicate is like give it out to a bunch of other investors. You're seeing this with Twitter right now, actually.
Yeah.
Banks are on the hook for debt, and they go, we don't want to keep this shit.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, Citadel, whoever, Bridgewater, will you take $1 billion off our books? And they're like, fuck no, we don't want this either.
No one wants hot potato, essentially. Right now, it feels like the world, the economy is playing musical chairs. And slowly and every day that they print more dollars, they remove a chair.
So I think a solution here, because...
Print more money.
Print more money.
Yeah.
Bond market, not a great place to invest.
No.
Equity market, not a great place to invest.
No.
This is why it's important that everyone starts an OnlyFans account.
Exactly.
You really need something to fall back on.
You need to be making content.
Yeah. Alex,
yeah.
What content have you been making on your OnlyFans recently?
I'll be honest, I've been discovering different kinds of rare and exotic fruit.
Okay.
And I've been gold plating them.
Okay.
And then I've been shoving them up my anus.
Folks, you're not going to get this anywhere else.
Nowhere else are you going to hear that you can get to my OnlyFans, Jerome Jericho XXX 69 Tension.
That's right.
I will shove a dragon fruit up my ass, gold-plated dragon fruit, for $24. But that's not all.
What else?
I'll let you into my life. You get to see my daily life with my dogs. You know, I have 2 dogs. Yeah.
So we get to like really.
I'll shove my dogs up my ass if you pay me enough money. That's all I'm saying is I'm out there making content. I'm just not doing this. I'm not a fool.
Right.
So you need to join me on OnlyFans.
Right.
Use my promo code HolyFuck.
Right.
And
how do you spell holy?
I spell it WHOOLE.
Okay.
And then fuck is PHUCK.
I love it.
20% off. 20% off. That's all I'm saying. Your boy's gonna make it, cause I ain't going down in the cost of what I'm living out here. I need to get some new shoes. I need some $16, $20. Well, they're probably gonna be $26 burritos pretty soon.
That's right. Right across the street.
What do you expect me to do? I got a quality of life to maintain.
That's right. I'm
a millennial. Okay.
It is funny that you eat a lot of burritos and shove fruit up your ass. That doesn't really go together, in my opinion.
Listen, I'm not doing them at the same time. I eat the burrito, and then I give myself an enema at the end of the day.
Do some colon prep.
I do some colon prep at the end of the night. Listen, they said you got to get fruit in your body. They didn't say how or what end.
That's right.
Am I putting the cart before the horse, or is the cart going in the horse?
That's right. Folks were just saying be prepared. However you figure that out.
Print more money if you have to, honestly. I think if you can figure out how to print money too, you can get out of these problems.
Yeah.
I'm not telling anyone to counterfeit. I'm just saying, figure out how to do it.
Yeah. Remember when that used to be the plot of old Western movies? We're going to go steal the plated money and then print our own money.
Yep, and then nothing's changed.
Just do it on the computer now.
So, good luck. Don't buy any bonds. Doesn't matter whatever you can get for them. I don't know, 50, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's not above inflation.
Yeah.
There's
one type. I'll say there's one bond.
What bond?
Where it's called an I bond, and I don't ever make financial advice, but a reasonable thing to look at. I'll just put it there is an I bond. There's a cap of $10,000, but it's basically 1 year duration. If you have $10,000, you put it into that. It's like a short-term money market fund. It matches the rate of inflation. So you know at least the money that you're putting into it will keep up with inflation. So like its last percentage was like 9 point something percent. And they look at it every 1 month, 3 months, I forget. But
I'm on the mindset that true inflation is double digits.
Yeah. It's not perfect, but it's just like,
It is
something to help educate.
Something you could do. Or you could just get that OnlyFans.
Yeah, hey.
Be out here OnlyFanning with your boy.
Yeah, that's right. That's another way to do it. Times are tough, people.
Yeah, man.
Times are not, it's not good.
I read something the other day that said consumer spending has fallen at least 6.5 trillion down to 650 billion. That's a 90% drop in savings.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's...
But you know what's also 90% drop in savings?
What?
If you use my code coming at you for OnlyFans.
Let me guess. Coming, CUMMIN.
That's exactly right.
Stay.
Coming.
That's what I'm here for.
And then it's the at sign, and then you. But no, for real. For your savings to drop 90%, that's like when you go to the bathroom, you take a dump, and you only get 90% of the turd out, and there's 10% left. Well, that's what's left in your bank. 10% of that turd. Yeah. That's it, basically. And they're gonna say a lot of it has to do with them printing the Trump checks, Daddy Warbucks checks.
I don't think so.
I know, but I think it has a lot to do with obviously the cost of living and all of that. We just can't. Our wages not really going up.
Yeah.
Remember $15 an hour? Remember when that was something?
Yeah.
And so yeah, look, people. If you can't cut down costs or get a second job, I think honestly that's the way to go. There's
no shame in having 2 jobs at once at all. Do what you got to do.
OnlyFans right here, baby.
Do what you got to do. So that covers the UK. I kind of feel is like this is an ongoing situation.
It's an ongoing situation.
This is not patched up. They have to find a way to get the derivatives off of their books. The issue is I don't think a lot of people want those right now. So as they're trying to get them off their books, it's going to take time to unwind that. So ongoing situation.
Do they have time though? Because the Fed continues to raise rates. Do you want a revolution? Woo, woo. They are raising those rates. So let's see. It's like the part in the movie where the guy is like the room's filling with water and like his head is at the top and he's got to get that one last breath of air.
Yeah.
That's where we're at, where we're like, do they have time? Who knows? Will they get the door open?
Yeah.
I can tell you one thing. Imagine that, a guy drowning. He's like, one last gasp of air, and someone's like, how do we stop this? And they're like, print more money. You're like, well, nigga, that's not really going to help where I'm at right now, but that's always the answer.
And the water comes out of the chamber underneath it.
Print more water.
Man. Well, you were talking a little bit about student loans, so maybe we should talk about that because that was interesting.
Oh yeah, student loans. Your boy's trying to get his student loans off the books because I'm trying to get my OnlyFans enterprise up.
That's right.
You said they were gonna forgive up to $10,000.
That's right.
Worth of debt. But there was a court order right now that's stopping it because they don't want to see us shine. It's I think 5 states.
Yeah. Six.
Like, and you can guess what color those states are.
I feel like they go like, "Ooh, you thought I was feeling you?"
Yeah.
I'm not gonna.
Much. Your S labs are much. They're like, you paying this debt.
They're telling the millennials like, "You thought we were feeling you?"
Yeah.
Come on, man.
I'll tell you this: one of those states, one of the things they yell is "Roll Tide." I'll tell you that.
I think that state has a former, isn't the one where it's like a former a football coach who is in government. Honestly, probably doing better than most elected officials, though.
I mean, he's still better than I think that's the same state where Roy Moore's from, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, if you don't know Roy Moore, boy, get to Googling that guy.
So what do you think is going to be the outcome with this debt relief plan then? Because it's being held up a little bit in court now.
I think what happened was it went to the lower claims court, and they said you actually have no grounds to stop this at all to the states. And then the states appealed, and they went to the federal higher court. So they still really have no grounds. It's just they're taking it through. They're dragging their feet on this.
Got you.
So honestly, I think it's going to go through. And if it doesn't, my only thing that I would tell you is fake your own death. But don't pay back those student loans. Because honestly, I would cut all payments to anything right now.
Yeah.
Because you're going to probably need to keep that money. Well, probably. You're going to need to keep that money.
Yeah.
Because
we're
headed in for a pretty strange winter.
Block the debt servicers in your phone. What's that Drake song? Text Go Green?
Yeah.
Do that.
Yeah.
Block them. Leave them on red. Leave them on scene.
Exactly.
What
are they going to do?
Do not disturb, yeah.
Yeah.
Just be on do not disturb mode all day.
Remember when they said Putin locked himself in a bunker?
Yeah.
That's me when debt callers, they're like, can we have our money back? I'm in a bunker. I don't even hear you right now.
They call us like, my bad. I'm too busy. I was busy getting this money right now.
Yeah.
I got to talk later.
I'm busy buying these $16 burritos. $16. And they wanted a tip on top of that. I was like, nigga, you pushed a button. Like, what is with this tip?
Yeah.
All right, let me stop because now I'm about to start attacking the working class. I'm like, this is what it does to you.
Yeah.
This is what capitalism does to you.
That is real talk, though.
Yeah, you're like, what the fuck is all this tipping? Oh, you just turn the iPad around.
That's hilarious.
But shout out to all my people that turn the iPad around.
Oh, the thing.
Yeah.
The swivel.
Yeah, the nerve to turn it. I'm turning right back around to your face.
And then they look right at you.
Yeah.
Hit the button.
Well, this place that I go to is down the street from your house.
Yeah.
It's a yuppie place.
It is.
And so whenever they ask, like, what's the name of your order, I just say Tupac. And then whenever I say that, they immediately go, all right, I'm not even going to make eye contact with this guy. I remember when I left after I got my burrito, the guy, he went from saying, like, hey, how you doing, man, to like, all right, there you go, dog. I was like, boy, what world do these people live in?
Shout out Electric Burrito.
Shout out Electric Burrito. You never get a tip though. Not in this economy.
I will make up for it.
Yeah.
While I can. While I can.
Here's a tip. Don't buy gilts. That's what my tip is.
Okay. All right. So that's student loans.
Yeah, my thing is quick. It's a couple of them, but we talked about Bank of England restarting QE to save pension funds. The Bank of Japan. The Bank of Japan. Yeah, the Bank of Jaboom, or whatever it is called. The Bank of Japan intervenes in foreign exchange markets. That's FX markets. So you don't know. 2 times to save the yen.
This was this week.
That was this week, and at this point, the yen they have 110 billion in capital at the Fed. Shout out to the Fed. Jay Powell keep printing, and 1.2 trillion of treasuries to dump. What we mean when we say treasuries is the United States has T-bills. Just a simple way to simplify this. Other countries can dump these, which is like, let's just say it's giving back a piece of paper, sell it back, and then buy up their own currency to shore it up. So what they're doing is they're dumping investment in the dollar right now to save their own money, because their money, and this is Japan, Sweden, and I think there's one more I'm missing. But right now Japan is the real. Oh, China did it too as well. Shout out to China.
They've been doing it a little bit.
Winnie the Pooh. But Japan is doing it the most. I think their currency fell Japanese yen went to 200. No, maybe from 200 it might go to 300. Like basically for Japanese currency, it's like the lower, if it goes to 300, 400, 500, that's worse.
And that's, it's like based on the US dollar.
It's based on the US dollar. So what I'm trying to say is to my boys out there that buy Capital, Visvim like I do, I don't know why this shit's not getting cheaper. because the shit is still like $600. But if we can hold out, we might be able to buy the whole entire island of Japan. Literally, we might be able to buy it for the price of a Metro card at the rate that this shit is dropping. Because Japan is in free fall right now.
Yeah.
And honestly, I know we were supposed to save money, but I might take a trip next year. Because it is our currency to what their currency is. Oh my God.
You were kind of making the whole world bag holders.
Yes, we are. And you know what happens?
Yeah.
They're going to keep, after a certain point, they're not just going to sit there and let their entire fucking currencies all dump. They're going to come back against us.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I don't know what you can really do at this point. It's like everyone's still dealing with their own problems.
It's all defense right now.
It's all defense.
Can't even think ahead. No time to think ahead.
No time to think. Just print.
That's right.
But this is happening because Japan, well, Fed keeps raising their interest rates, and everyone's telling them to stop. I mean, I think even the Vatican came out and said, "What the fuck you doing, Joe? What are you doing, J. Powell?"
The Pope.
Yeah, the Pope came out. He lifted his hat and he was like, "You see this?"
He had the incense thing. He started swinging it.
Yeah. And then, J. Powell was like, "Look, man, we got to keep printing more money." And then the Pope was like, "I had to talk with the man upstairs." And he said, "You got to cut this shit out. You going to hell. You going to hell if you keep printing money like this. Because you're killing us. You're killing us, Fed. You keep making interest rates go up like this." And I don't think the Bank of Japan, they're not raising their interest rates right now. So,
no, they just did what basically they ran a similar playbook to the UK.
Yeah.
So people are going back to printing money after a period of austerity, which was like a month or two. They could only hold out like 2 months, and then they're like, I gotta get back with
Free easy money, baby.
You gotta stay strong.
Easy money. Since 08, baby.
Do not text her back.
Nope. You gotta block, and you gotta, first of all, the block starts here.
Yes.
It doesn't start in the phone. It starts here.
That's right.
And it starts here.
That's right.
You can still jack off to them, but it starts here and here. You keep the nudes. Eventually, you won't need those anymore, but it starts here and here.
Yeah.
And then the rest of it, you block it off. But you can't keep getting that easy nut. That's all we're saying.
Yeah.
Life's not about easy nuts out here.
Nope.
Because otherwise, you're just a squirrely ass bitch.
and winter is coming.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It is coming pretty hard and pretty fast for Japan. So like I said, I might buy me a condo. I might buy me a baseball team. Honestly.
Yeah.
With these.
Yes.
It's crazy. Like to think
Scout the next Ichiro.
Yeah, I might fuck Ichiro, man. I might buy Ichiro at this point. Like Japan is like, I don't know. I think it seems like right now the UK, Japan, and Credit Suisse or Switzerland in general are like in a race to see who can default the fastest. It's like everyone's like, hold my beer, I got this. And then Liz Truss steps up. And the next thing you know, the Bank of Japan is like, nah, we got this. Give me some sake. And then they fucking slam it and they go, all right, what should we not do? Let's do that. And so, yeah, it's a game of musical chairs to see who defaults first. Because whoever defaults first is going to get the blame. That's the way it works.
Yeah.
And what's going on with Credit Suisse? Well, we saw a little bit. The Fed, they did this thing. I think we talked about Credit Suisse or Debit Suisse. The Fed, I don't know if you know.
Oh, the fallout of this, yeah.
Yeah, they opened up $9 billion worth of swaps. Maybe it's more. I don't know. It's more than 9.
Like overnight swaps, yeah.
Overnight swaps, but it was more than 9 billion, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but whatever. They opened up a couple billion. What's a couple billion between friends? You know what I mean? What's a couple B's?
Yeah.
What's a billion between you and a boy?
Oh, you.
Yeah.
Get some. We get some.
We all. Hey,
it's
we
all
all
good.
Getting some. It ain't no fun if the homies can't hang. And so these are like basically like loans to the Swiss central banking, and that's not good.
Yeah.
Because that means essentially that we are paying for other countries to not default.
And there's a reason we would do that.
And there's a reason. And also there was a private auction that was held, and I think it was 17 participants or something like that, but Swiss banks were seeking like So essentially, what's happened is like Swiss banks are like trading. It's like this weird trade where like we give them dollars, and it's like the most that have been bid since 2008, and it's called an emergency dollar swap.
So they're short dollars right now. They don't have enough
They
dollars.
don't have enough
Yeah.
dollars, and there was an auction, and essentially 17 banks took part in this auction, which honestly I just think means they just bought up all of their whatever is already have fallen apart. They're just not telling us yet. They're grabbing every little piece that they can, and then they're getting in and getting out because everyone else knows what's coming. And the Fed is just they're trying their hardest to patch over this stuff by, essentially just giving them money. And remember that next time when you say like, hey, how come we can't have money? It's because we're giving money to Switzerland. There's no such thing as a free ride.
Yeah.
Unless you live in Switzerland and you work for the bank.
They need raclette. Have you had raclette?
I've never had raclette.
It's great cheese. Imagine a world without raclette. That's a world without Switzerland. We can't have that.
Not yet. Not until Putin says so.
Oh my god. Yeah. So okay, that's interesting. I didn't know about that private auction.
Yeah, that one's like a deep dig on that one.
Yeah.
And these are all. I mean, who knows how much this is happening? Who knows what's going on with Switzerland right now and the central banks? I mean, that is like I would say probably the hub for money in Europe.
Yeah. For like high net worth individuals.
Yeah. What do they call it? You always hear it in the bad guy movies, a Swiss banking account.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, there's a reason you hear that. And
it's there or the Bahamas.
There, yeah, or the Bahamas too. Shout out to the Bahamas. Yeah. Your economy seems to be going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's where most of the crypto bros are, from what I know.
Honestly, I have been looking more into thinking about getting into crypto now. But these are like, if I was serious about doing crypto, I would have to have at least like $10,000 in my checking account
to put into it.
Not even to put in it. I just have to have $10,000 in my checking account.
Yeah.
And then make more money after that, and then be like, okay, that money can go to crypto. Because I mean, I don't expect anything to happen with crypto in a long time, but I don't know. It's looking safer than gold. Like you'll probably get more of a return of investment in that time. Like gold will stay at 1,700 or wherever the hell it's at, like that. But at least crypto, you'll get a good run.
I think you definitely will. I think when things resume up only, like it'll do better than anything else.
You can also pay me in crypto on my OnlyFans. Just so you know, that is possible.
Yes, don't forget that.
Yeah.
For anyone who lives in the Bahamas, you're welcome on his OnlyFans page. I think all of this like kind of leads to the one other thing that we started talking about before, and I guess this is a glimmer of short-term hope. I don't know how you look at it, but the Federal Reserve, they started hinting towards the first signs of a pivot, and pivot's a very ambiguous word. Yeah.
A pivot?
Yeah. It's kind of like, we'll see if it actually happens. I think what some people think might happen for a pivot is they're going to raise rates another 50, 75 basis points and then say, let's wait and see so we don't fuck anything up. But they already fucked a lot of things up. But they had put out a statement, I think like last week, that was the first hint that they might do that. So it'll be interesting. I think if they decide to say, let's stop raising rates for a while, I think things are going to moonshot.
I think, honestly, the choices that they have at this point is deflation.
Yeah.
Which is straight up depression.
Yeah.
Which is rip the Band-Aid off. Or they have the choice of hyperinflation. And hyperinflation favors the rich.
Yep.
So you're going to help the rich people.
Yep. I agree.
So they're just going to keep printing money.
Yep.
What you think is inflation now, you think this is bad, you'll be praying for this next year.
Yeah.
You'll be like, man, remember last year when burritos were $16?
Yeah.
He's like, I had to give up my right arm for a burrito. And then that's where we're gonna be at. And they're just pushing it as long as they can and as hard as they can. And they kind of think too. Probably honestly, I mean, this is probably like a way you can use it for election. Is you just go. Most people will go, well, this didn't happen with Trump, and so they'll vote for Trump. But they don't know this has nothing to do with presidents, really. Yeah, honestly.
Red tie, blue tie.
Yeah, this all has to do with central banks. Yep. You can talk about blue and red all you want. Only color that matters is green. And that's Facts. What these guys control. They control the green. So Facts. Yeah, inflation's not going anywhere. In fact, you aren't even seeing the real number.
Yeah.
It's world inflation numbers are higher than they've ever been.
Yep. Complete underinvestment in energy infrastructure.
Yeah, we're gonna have an energy crisis coming, and when you have an energy crisis coming, it means you got a food crisis coming. Yeah. You got a food crisis coming, it means you got some wars coming.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? Get on the Call of Duty sticks. Let's go, boys. Let's get some practice.
Get the reps in.
Get the reps in. Honestly, if you like, I haven't traveled somewhere in Central Europe, you better do that shit right now.
Yeah.
Because the next time you see Central Europe, you'll be jumping out of a fucking airplane like Captain America.
It's going to be different lines.
Yeah.
Coloring book is going to be redrawn.
They're going to be calling you Steve Rogers. Well, he'll be Steve Rogers, and I'll be the Captain Falcon guy.
Captain America.
I don't even remember his name. Anthony Mackie. What's Anthony Mackie's character in Avengers?
Man.
Black Captain America. That's what I'll be.
Let's go with that.
And then you just... That's what. Who knows what Central Europe's gonna look like in a year or two? Like
Facts.
But
politicians are gonna keep using what's happening to their advantage. I mean, I saw even Bernie, who is like, he had a tweet where he's like, 10 years ago, oil was $85 a barrel. Mm-hmm. It's $85 a barrel today. Mm-hmm. Gas was $1 cheaper 10 years ago, or in 2010, 12 years ago. And he's like, this is because of big oil and their profits. Yeah. And we need to tax big oil and create a windfall tax. And this isn't defending big oil, but it's because there's a refining shortage. It's like you don't take unrefined oil and put it in your car. You have to refine it, make it into gasoline, right? And then you put it in your car. We haven't invested in that for 15 years. So, I mean, I would put it this way. I would be for something like that if you take that money from the taxes and then you redirect it into like energy infrastructure, refineries. But of course they don't want that. Politicians want the money for whatever the fuck they can do with it.
Well, one thing I would say that I for sure am 100% I have belief on is that the people who are in power, or just in general in life, human beings are reactionary. Mm-hmm. We are not proactive. Mm-hmm. They go like, you go to the doctor, he goes, you got cancer, then you go, okay, how can I fix it?
Yeah.
And I'm not blaming anyone or anything like that for it. It's just like these problems that we have now. Like, I mean, you could even look at what happened with COVID, where it went through China, then to Italy, and like, come on, we were all denying it in America. We were like, look, that's the rest of the world's problem. And then it hit Seattle, and we were like, yeah, I don't even like Nirvana anyway.
Then just do some pull-ups.
Yeah, like, come on, bro, really? And then it hit everywhere, and we were like, okay, now I see the problem. We need to get the vaccines first. Even though we were the last ones to get it, we were like, we need those vaccines ASAP.
Remember when Cuomo, not the governor, what was the other one?
The newscaster?
He was like, just sweat it out. He's like, just work it out of your body.
Yeah.
That was the most ridiculous shit.
Yeah, it was.
He was like, I just do 80 push-ups a day, and I'm good.
Just do some dips. You'll be all right. That's basically yeah. But I think the big problem with us is we're just reactionary. So, the dependency on Russia's natural gas, or just gas in general. There's one person that spoke about it, Trump. But I do not support that, man. I want everyone to know that. But there is a famous clip of him going around speaking about how Germany is dependent on Russia, and turns out, like I said, broken clock is right 2 times a day.
Yeah.
And he got that one right, but he definitely got January 6th wrong. He got that one pretty wrong.
He messed that up.
Yep. But our dependency too on, I guess, China for those little semiconductor chips or whatever, and Biden now is
Chips Act,
retroactive. This is later.
Yeah. Too late.
It's too late. it takes, I don't know how many years to get these factories going. At least three,
At
maybe.
least, yeah.
If you know, and that's without. Well, we don't really have that problem right now.
And then by then, technology has changed also.
Technology has changed, so it's like
manufacturing lines gonna change, all that stuff.
That's the thing that I think people are forgetting is like they're like, there's so much intricacies into this where it's like, you know, people are like, why don't we just go green? And it's like, yeah, but even I talked to you a little bit about before we started the podcast, like going green, it's like, at the end of the day, we're not going to be walking around with fucking giant windmills that are just big leaves blowing air. It's like these things are made out of aluminum or carbon or zinc.
Yeah.
So these are still natural resources.
Yep.
And we don't have all the natural resources. Some of them come from Russia.
Yep.
Some of them come from China. And you don't even want to know what we get from China. I mean, that'll scare the shit out of you. Yeah. And also Russia, too. Some of them come from the Ukraine, and right now a major war is disrupting that problem right now, chain supplies. But, you know, I think we're going to start feeling the effects of what's going to happen in the next year. And then by the effects, I mean, like, what's going on with the war. Yeah. We haven't felt that yet. We just, honestly, tell you it was gas, but that's not true. I just think I do believe gas is being price gouged, but I just think that people who work in the oil business see the end of the road. Where they go, the Paris Accord agreement, that was what, 2035 or 2040? Like something like that.
Something around that time.
Which means all these countries have basically agreed to, you know, we're going to get off gas. And so basically they're like, that's the light at the end of the tunnel. And at the end of that fucking tunnel, that light that's coming out of us is one of Tesla's fucking self-driving trucks. And we need to get all the money we can. Because for an oil company to start a project, it takes at least 3 years.
Yeah.
And then it takes 8 years to break even.
Massive financing.
8 years.
And money is not as cheap as it used to be.
No, it's not. In fact, it costs more.
Yeah.
You know how I know? Because I was like, man, this dollar's not going as far as it went before. And I went down to the Dollar Tree and I said, y'all got some dollars in this bitch? I was trying to I was like, where the Dollar Tree at? You know, this shit grows on trees.
Yeah. We needed dollars last night for...
there were strippers. That's all.
Adult activities, for a friend's bachelor party.
Big man tings, man. You know what I mean? And we needed some bruv men, you know what I mean? Only carry the big tings, you know what I mean? And we needed some singles, man. You know what I mean? Some GWs.
It was hard to get.
It is very difficult to get ones right now. As Japan will tell you, it's very difficult.
Everyone's short dollars right now.
Everyone. And let me tell you, things are getting bad because one of what do you call them? Exotic dancers? Whatever, stripper. One of the strippers was like, I want to do comedy. And we was like, why? You want to do comedy?
No.
So you want to go from making no money to paying money.
It's honestly going backward.
Yeah, you're not doing this right.
That is not a great business plan.
Yeah. She was like, I don't know. I don't feel comfortable. We were like, but you take your clothes off for a living. She's like, you're right. That'll make me feel more comfortable. I was like, you know what? She's got a lot of heart. I never thought of that logic. She was like, I should just take my clothes off. I was like, yeah. She already had her clothes off, and I was still like, yeah, that's a good idea, actually. Yeah, that's a good point, yeah. You know what? This is how we can get people to pay attention to the economy. We need to have 2 strippers.
We need to have strippers on the podcast.
We need to have strippers on the podcast and explain this.
Yeah, and it's...
I wish I got her business card yesterday.
I'm sure Marco did. I'm sure one of our friends did.
We got the other one. We didn't get the one who wants to do comedy.
I think Ed got her Instagram.
You got Instagram?
Someone got her Instagram, yeah.
Okay, she definitely got
OnlyFans. I did not, yeah.
Okay.
But someone did.
I bet you I can describe her. They were like, what did she look like? I was like, she was black. She had a tattoo on her left ass cheek that said, tear it up. And it was like claws like this. And they were like, oh, Deborah. Oh, yeah. She'll be here. No problem. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Wild times. I mean, let me think. That was most of it. I mean, like, the Federal Reserve, like the president of Atlanta, like the bank in Atlanta for the Federal Reserve, Raphael Bostic. He basically was, I don't say caught, but he was like, yeah, I guess caught violating his central bank trading policies. Not one time, not two times, but 150 times.
It ain't.
This is,
It ain't tricking if you got it.
and he did Dave Chappelle in that one skit. He basically said, "Well, officer, I didn't know I couldn't do that."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Yeah, you're cool, man. Don't worry about it."
I mean, who's gonna police that?
Yeah, no one
Yeah.
gives a shit.
He got caught trading during the blackout, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
150 times. He's got a.
Which means he must have did it thousands of times.
Oh my god.
He only got caught 150
That's
times.
what the crazy thing is.
And think about that.
It's like a girl's body count.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's a great time. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. They're like, how much? How many? And he's like, about 150. And you're like, all right.
Multiply it by 27. All right.
Why does that even matter? That was the first thing he said. Why does that even matter? They're like, because you're not supposed to be. It's my trading. What does it matter?
Yeah.
You're not supposed to be doing this during a blackout.
That's right.
He's like, well, okay, whatever.
Haven't you heard of something called integrity?
Yeah. No.
No.
But, I mean, if you work for the Fed, you can get away with it.
Look, he should have just helped out the scene in Atlanta.
Oh, but that's not how you stay rich.
No.
You know what I mean? He's like, that's Tyler Perry's problem. This is not my problem. That's Walt Disney. They need to go out there and shoot some more movies.
Yeah. We're going to see him partying with 21 Savage from Atlanta, right?
21 Savage is from the UK. He almost lost his pension.
Really?
Yeah, 21 Savage. He got deported. You don't remember that?
Wow.
He's from the UK.
That's right. I totally forgot.
So 21 Savage. You almost lost your pension the
Wow.
other day. That would be hilarious if he became prime minister.
That would be amazing.
21 Savage is prime minister. He's like, listen, all
Can
y'all pussies.
Can you make a maybe to end the podcast? Can you make a statement for 21 Savage on why he should be prime minister? Can you list the reasons why?
That 21 Savage should be prime minister?
I think people would like to know.
Reason number one.
Yeah.
You can't do any worse than the other two.
That's a good reason.
That's reason number one.
Okay.
Reason number two. I think your album sales alone, you would help boost the economy.
Yep.
In England.
Yep.
Reason number three, because you fucking gangsters, straight up. Let's just say that. Reason number four, you can never, ever be deported again because you'll have diplomatic immunity.
That's right.
And to see my other 17 reasons as to why 21 Savage should be the new prime minister, subscribe to my OnlyFans at Juicy Booty XXX69 Tension. I'll be doing some featured content with some strippers.
That's right.
Dragon fruit, passion fruit.
I'll be on that episode.
Yeah.
We're gonna cross collab.
That's what you got to do. You got to collaborate with other collaborators to bring in a new audience.
That's right.
So yeah, I got 17 more reasons why 21 Savage should be prime minister. Hey, if he is, I'll tell you one thing: the UK will definitely have a lot more guns. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. Oh man.
On God, straight up.
Straight up. I think that's it, right?
I feel like that's enough before their heads explode.
Yeah, that's enough. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, that's more than enough.
All right. Sad Money, over and out. We'll see you soon.
Money never weeps.
Money never weeps.